Today I'm going to get a little information on reading I had from Opening Doors Within from Eileen Cady. It's a daily meditation book. And today's reading reminded me of a story that I read once about a martial artist, a aikido specialist, and his student. The student encountered a drunk on the bus and was about to embark on confronting this drunk when his master came on the bus and interceded. But first, I'd like to do this reading from Eileen. Says, it's not easy to turn the other cheek when someone else hits out at you, in word or deed. The immediate reaction is to hit back, but here's where reactions have to be watched in the greatest care, and where self-control and complete selflessness have to be put into practice. Those souls who have not learned self-discipline will give back as good as they get and feel justified in doing so. Then they will wonder why there is so much chaos and confusion in the world. There's definitely too much stand your ground, just attacking people just who made mistakes, who got in the wrong driveway or got in the wrong car. People are just so quick to either express anger or fear. I guess anger stems from fear of loss of control, fear of being injured, whatever it is. But they're so blind they cannot see it until they have learned to change their whole outlook, start to love their neighbors as themselves. They cannot hope to change what's going on in the world. The more love and goodwill there is, the quicker change will come. But it all starts in you. Therefore, the sooner you realize it, the sooner will changes take place all around you. And so out into the world, why not start doing something about it now? As promised, this story about the aikido master. It's something I read a while ago, and I certainly can't see myself doing it. I'm more like the student wanting to confront and to intervene, but certainly not as this master did. It's called Aikido Surprise by Terry Dobson. A major turning point in my life came as an unexpected surprise one day in the middle of a quiet spring afternoon on a sleepy train in the suburbs of Tokyo. It all started as the old train was clanking and rattling over the rails. It was comparatively empty, a few housewives with the kids in tow, some old folks out shopping, a couple off-duty bartenders casually glancing through the sports section of the local newspaper. I was gazing absently at the drab houses and the dusty hedgerows. Then, as the door opened, at one unremarkable station, the calm afternoon was suddenly shattered. A man on the platform bellowed at the top of his lungs, yelling violent, obscene, and incomprehensible curses. Just before the doors closed, a still young, yelling man staggered into our car. Seeing me stand up, the belligerent drunk relished a chance to focus his rage. "Aha!" he roared. "A foreigner! You need a lesson in Japanese manners." He landed a heavy punch on the metal pole beside him to give weight to his words. Holding onto the commuter strap overhead, I gave him a slow look of disgust and dismissal. I gave him every bit of pissed-off nastiness I could summon up. I planned to take this filthy turkey apart, but he had to be the one to move first. And I wanted him mad because the madder he got, the more certain my victory. Puckered my lips in bloom, a sneering, indolent kiss. It hit him like a slap in the face. "All right," he hollered, "you're going to get a lesson." He gathered himself up for a rush at me. Yet just as he was about to lunge, a single syllable shout pierced the air. "Hey!" The word instantly sliced through the thick intensity of the moment. I was stunned by the strangely joyous, lilting quality of it, as though you and a friend had been searching all over for something important that was lost and suddenly stumbled upon it and loudly shouted to you, "Hey!" I wheeled to my left, the drunk spun to his right. We both found ourselves staring at a little old man. It must have been he must have been well into his 70s, and this tiny gentleman sitting there, immaculate in his kimono, took no notice of me but beamed delightedly at the laborer, as though he had the most important, most welcome secret to share. The big man followed almost as if on a string. He planted his feet belligerently in front of the old man and towered threateningly over him. "Talk to you?" he roared above the clacking wheels. "Why the hell should I talk to you?" The old man continued to beam at the laborer. There was not a trace of fear or resentment about him. "What you been drinking?" he asked lightly, his eyes sparkling with interest. "I've been drinking sake," the laborer bellowed back, "and it's none of your GD business." Flecks of spittle spattered on the old man. "Oh, that's wonderful," said the old man with delight. "Absolutely wonderful, you see. I love sake, too. Every night, me and my wife, she's 76, we warm up a little bottle of sake, take it out into the garden, and we sit on a wooden bench that my grandfather's first student made for him. We watch the sun go down, and we look to see how our persimmon tree is doing." My grandfather planted that tree, and we worry about whether or not it will recover from those ice storms we had last winter. Persimmons do not do well after ice storms, although I must say that ours has done rather well, better than expected, especially when you consider the poor quality of the soil. Still, it's most gratifying to watch when we take our sake and go out to enjoy the evening, even when it rains. He looked at the laborer, eyes twinkling, happy to share his delightful information. As the bewildered drunk struggled to follow the intricacies of the old man's conversation, his face began to soften. His shaky fist slowly unclenched. "Yeah," he said slowly, "I love persimmons too." He wavered, his wavering voice trailed off. "Yes," said the old man, smiling and leaning forward, "and I'm sure you have a wonderful wife." "No," replied the laborer to this so strangely friendly man in a softer, sullen voice. "My wife, she died last year." The suddenly changed drunk hung his head down in heavy sorrow. Then, gently swaying with the motion of the train, this big burly man, who was so threatening just a moment ago, began to sob. "I don't got no wife. I don't got no home anymore. I lost my job. I don't got no money. I don't got nowhere to go. I'm so ashamed of myself." Big tears rolled down his cheeks. A spasm of pure despair rippled through his body. Above the baggage rack, a brightly colored ad trumpeted the virtues of suburban luxury living. Now it was my turn, standing there in my well-scrubbed youthful pride with my "make this world for democracy righteousness." I suddenly felt dirtier and more ashamed than he was. Just as the train arrived at my stop, the platform was packed with bustling humanity. The busy crowd surged into the car as soon as the doors opened. Maneuvering my way toward the door, I heard the old man speak sympathetically. My, he said with heartfelt care, yet undiminished delight, "that is a very difficult predicament indeed. Sit down here and tell me about it." I turned my head for one last look before leaving the now crowded train. The laborer was sprawled like a sack on the seat, his head in the old man's lap. The old man was looking down at him with smiling compassion, his hand stroking the filthy matted head of this confused soul. As the train pulled away, I sat down on the bench, dazed with all that had just happened. What I had wanted to do with muscle and meanness had been deftly accomplished with but a few kind words. What I had just witnessed was true aikido in combat. The essence of it was love. As the founder had always said, I determined then and there to practice this beautiful art with an entirely different spirit. I yearned to be more able to move from the heart, like this old man, in using the deep principle of aikido. Yet it would be a long time before I could fully embody what I had seen on that forgettable ride. Terry Dobson is a highly accomplished aikido master, and until the time of his death in 1992. That's the reading for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you.